Russell Westbrook, who, by the way, I love, has no love for me. I don't give a damn. I got nothing but love for him. He just mad at me because he gets mad at me sometimes because I remind him he ain't got no damn jump shot. That's all.
OGs are back in the building. Well, they wouldn't let me show up for this one. I wish I was there because this is a special guest. The biggest sports media personality in the WORLD. That's world, UD. That's what it spells.
I know, Killer, I know how to spell world. All right? Don't start that today, all right? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
He is.
Listen, you wasn't invited because you don't work for ESPN. That's why you wasn't invited.
Well, damn, I want to be invited. But, hey, SA, man, we appreciate you coming in, man. This is a special one, man. We appreciate you spending some time with us today, for real.
Man, thank y'all for having me, man. You know, we go back years, and especially with UD being the new man at ESPN. I'm just trying to wonder where he going to take my job. The brother's a star in the making, my man. He doing big things. I'm very proud, my brother. I'm very proud.
Well, I will say, coming from you on this side of things, I appreciate that.
Yeah, hey, UD, based on what I'm hearing, the numbers running out there, you need to find a way to get his job. That'd be some NBA money.
There you go.
Hey, the man pulled up in a Lamborghini Urus. Now, I had to Google to see what that was now, Killer. I had to Google that.
You probably got three of them. What's up, y'all?
Man, we glad to have you, brother. We glad to have you. I appreciate you coming in.
No
I know you newly down in the 305. How you enjoying the city?
Well, it's very lovely. I must admit, it is nice. Now, I've been coming back and forth to the 305 for many years, and obviously, I got a crib in this area now. So, between here, New York, LA, I'm constantly all over the country doing stuff on the production side, doing stuff on the ESPN side, doing stuff with, various other things that I'm trying to engage into. But I'm happy any place that there's warm weather and no state income taxes. And the other things, that come with it, and that's never really a bad thing.
Yes, sir. What you know about that, Killer?
Oh, man, I don't know nothing about that. I don't got none of those actions. I'm over here in Memphis just living good life. That's all. Hey, SA, so you really do 3,500 live takes a year? Live?
Honestly speaking, minimum.
Golly.
Well, let's take this into consideration. I'm doing First Take. First Take is 5 days a week, 2 hours a day. You've been on the show, yes. UD, and so there's approximately 13 to 15 different segments per day.
Yes.
So you multiply that by a week, we're talking about 70, 75 takes a week minimum. You're talking about 3,000 takes annually minimum, because I put in about 45 weeks a year. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, that's just First Take. That doesn't take into account NBA Countdown. It doesn't take into account Sports Center. All three are live. No 7-second delay, no taping. It's live. And then you also have to take into account the appearances I make on other shows, not just on ESPN for Get Up or something else, but it's also on other networks. It's CNN, it's Fox News, it's MSNBC, it's News Nation, and various other places that, I'll appear because, me being in the position I'm in and having the kind of platform that I have, and people saying that I influence folks and stuff like that, my attitude is the last person that has a license to run is me. If I'm going to sit in those seats and I'm going to take positions and I'm going to make sure that my voice is heard, if you want to take issue with it and interview me and talk to me about it, as long as it's respectful, it's not a conversation I'm going to run from.
Man, I love it. Now, this is what I didn't know about being on this side is because the preparation.
Yep.
The night before and these different shows, you ain't just showing up and jumping on First Take. You ain't just showing up and jumping on Get Up. You're preparing the questions and the conversations and these things. And I didn't understand how much attention to detail that all that came in. Because when I walked in the studio, I played 20 years, so a lot of things I can run off the top of my dome. But I started having to prepare. If I wanted to be good at it, I had to prepare before the shows the next morning.
It's a challenge, and a lot of people don't realize that because let's say, for example, you come from the newspaper industry like I do. You write an 800-word column or essay, right? Do you realize that you can say 800 words inside of a minute and a half? You can actually do that. So if we have a segment that lasts 8 to 10 minutes, well, what else you got to say? Where are your facts? Where's the substance?
Yes.
What's your perspective? What's the difference between perception and perspective? Do you know how to dissect the difference between the two and then articulate that message to the masses so they can comprehend where you're coming from? Because the objective shouldn't just to be listened to, it should be heard. If somebody's listening to you, then it goes in one ear and out the other, and they may not understand a damn thing that you said. But if they hear you, then they heard what you had to say, they comprehended, they contextualized it properly, and then as a result, they know what to take from it and what to do with it. This is something that you have to do every single day. That's why when you see people talking and they want to pop about me and whatever, I often throw out this challenge. Let's be in a public platform. Let's make sure you have your facts. You put them up against mine and tell me when and where, and I'll show up. Because they ain't going to show because they just talking because that's what they do. And so, because they don't do this for a living. I do this for a living. Mm-hmm. And so for me, knowing that, that's the kind of approach that I take. And that's just me as a talent. But then a few years ago, about 3 years ago or so, almost 4 years ago, ESPN came to me and they said, look, man, you do the damn thing anyway. I mean, the producers and, we got great producers on First Take, phenomenal producers, associate producers, writers, the whole bit. They do a hell of a job. I'm so proud of them. But, when they came to me, they're like, you the executive producer. You in charge of content. You the one that you decide what guests come on the show. You decide who's going to contribute to the show. You decide, what topics that we're going to discuss. Now, it's a collective effort, and we all make the decision, but I'm the final call. And so, when they put that responsibility on my shoulders and they didn't ask, they just said, it's yours. I recognize what they was trying to say. The future of this show is on you. It's on your shoulders. Handle your business. So that's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I love that. The biggest thing there, SA, where I'm excited about is not where you are now, but how you got there, right? Because all that stuff that you're talking about, you're just breaking down and educating everybody that wants to get in this business. Where you're at now is unbelievable, right? But I love the story of how we got there. Everybody, not that it's ESPN and all that stuff, but everyone wants a Sports Center success and everyone wants to see the highlights of it. But to be where you're at and at the top of your game and to really dominate the sports media section, in my opinion, how did you get there? What motivated you to get there? Who'd you learn from? Why are we Stephen A. Smith now? Right. Well, what is it?
Well, I would tell you, as you really, really look at it, it's hard to pinpoint it. There's so many things that I can point to. I can point to the fact that I was in the fourth grade and I got left back because I had a first grade reading level. I had undiagnosed dyslexia and I couldn't understand what I was reading to save my life. And I remember as I wrote my book, Straight Shooter, I remember my father in the kitchen telling my mom, he ain't gonna be nothing. Just get over it from now. When I was in the fourth grade. And I remember it broke my heart hearing it, and my mother looked and she saw me looking in the kitchen window and she was just aghast because she couldn't believe that I heard it, and she was so scared and all of that other stuff. And she looked at me and she was like, are you okay? And I remember I was a fourth grader and I said, he's gonna regret that. I'm no dummy. Let's get it on. We're gonna find out. We'll see. And I spent my motivation, my hard work, my dedication came from a life of making sure that I wanted to prove him wrong about such a thing about me. My older sister, Linda, teaching me how to read and write and looking out for me the way that she did, along with my mom, who I consider the greatest in the world, passed away in 2017. I miss her every day. And then, I go to college and I'm playing for the legendary Clarence Big House Gaines, or should say I'm trying to play, because I came there with tendonitis in the knees. My first semester there, I cracked my kneecap in half going up for a layup. I was never the same, the whole bit. And so, you see the reports, people talking about my game. I averaged it. They said I averaged 1.5 points a game. It's all lies. It's not true, because It was less than that. I never played because I was never healthy. So it was like, what are you talking about? So, you did me a favor. You gave me 1.5 points again. Thank you very, very much. But, I often look at it and I said, you know what? I was good enough to get a scholarship, and I was good enough for people to look at me and say, we going to pay for his education because the brother could ball. And so they, people could talk that, and I'm like, let them talk. But in the end, what it comes down to is that learning from a legend like Clarence Big House Gaines, having a mentor like John McClendon, Clarence Big House Gaines' mentor, who literally learned the game under the creator of the game, James Naismith. Wow. He also invented the fast break, So you talk about four corners with Dean Smith at college at the University of North Carolina and all of it. Ask the legends, the late, great Billy Pack and Dean Smith and so many others. They learned the game from him. And so this was Big House Gaines' mentor, and he used to be in the stands watching us practice. And so we would practice. He was like, on one leg you could play. He said, I'm just trying to figure out how the hell is it that the further away from the basket you go, the more accurate you are, but the closer you are, you can't hit the backside of a ball. Because
sounds like me, Steve.
I was in college.
Sounds like me.
That's right. I was in college, man. I was 5'10", 130 pounds. I was nothing but skin and bones and stuff like that. I don't know what they putting in the kids' food today because it wasn't me. I ain't had that kind of meat on my bones and stuff like that. And so learning under them, they would take me to Coach Gaines' office after practice and not only talk to me about the game of basketball, but talk to me about life. And they were like, look, you are a rebel with a cause. You've always been that way. We could tell. And they would preach to me about life, and they would tell, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to bring to the table because you are going to play an important role in our society someday. You watch, you wait and see. And they would tell me that. So when I graduated from college, after doing high school sports for the New York Daily News for 14 months, what was my next job? A reporter for the Philadelphia Inquirer covering John Chaney and Temple. So I'm learning basketball under that Hall of Fame and living legend. And then when I ultimately graduated after 4 years, 3 years, it was 4 years, and I started covering the NBA, who did I cover? Larry Brown with Allen Iverson. So I'm like Clarence Big House Gaines, John McClendon, John Chaney, and Larry Brown. What you gonna tell me about the game of basketball that I haven't seen, I haven't heard, I haven't experienced? And then you take into account the players that I covered along the way. It was, my friends to this day. Magic Johnson's a friend. Isaiah Thomas is a friend. Michael Jordan is a friend and a brother. Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, God rest his soul. He and I used to rap all the time. D. Wade's my dog. You know how long we go back, the whole bit. And so there's so many legends that I've learned from along the way. That's where it all comes from. It's not about me being brilliant. It's about me knowing I'm not, but I learned from brilliance and stealing the knowledge from them and disseminating it to the masses. That's what I do.
What time is it? Game time. Summer's here, y'all, and it means both endless MLB games and WNBA games for me these next few months. And there's no better place to get your tickets than Game Time. They make getting all your tickets fast and easy. Or maybe you're just looking to see some of your favorites. Billy Joel, Bruce Springsteen, Olivia Rodrigo. Game Time has an amazing selection and a wide variety of summer concerts that you can score tickets for. What me, personally, I like about Game Time, the killer last minute deals, all-in prices with no surprise fees at checkout. You get a seat view of the arena before you buy, and your purchase is covered by the most flexible customer service policy in the ticket industry. This means you can buy with confidence, knowing you're covered no matter what. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code OGs for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account on Game Time app and redeem code OGS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. With how today's society is and social media is everywhere, it's easy to get wrapped up and compare yourself to others. Rather than focusing on someone else's life and what they're doing, I like to think about my own goals and accomplishments and how lucky I am to live in Memphis, Tennessee with my wife and kids. Remember, comparison is a thief of joy, and it's easy to envy others based off just seeing their highlight reels. But it's time to forget that and start focusing on yourself. Therapy can help you focus on what you want and learn how to appreciate what you already have so you can start living your best life. Therapy is not just for those who have experienced trauma. It can also be for just the basic life coping skills so you can be the best version of yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Stop comparing and start focusing with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/OGs today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/OGs. Today's episode is proudly brought to you by our guys at Morgan & Morgan. It's America's largest personal injury law firm. They started out here in Florida 30 years ago and now are helping people across all 50 states. Morgan & Morgan is always for the people and have your back when it comes to fighting to get you full and fair compensation. As athletes, we have faced our fair share of injuries. That's why we know how difficult it is to get back out there after an injury. The team and the support behind you matter. And submitting an injury claim with Morgan & Morgan is free and easy. It just takes 8 clicks or less from the comfort of your own couch to get started. If you're ever injured, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Their fee is free unless they win. For more information, go to forthepeople.com/theOGs or dial #law. That's #529 from your cell phone. That's forthepeople.com/theOGs or #law, #529 from your cell phone. This, my friends, is a paid advertisement.
I'm happy you said Shaq because just recently Shaq came on this podcast and say Stephen A. should thank me. He said, big fella say Stephen A. should thank him for being in the position he is now. Now, we all know Shaq like to fabricate shit just a tad bit, just a little bit.
Right.
What the hell he talk about though?
Well, first of all, both of us Q-Dogs. Both of us Q-Dogs, number one. Number two, we go back a long, long ways. I mean, Shaq and I go back to the mid-'90s, right? First of all, I love him. I ain't refuting nothing he says because I don't feel like arguing with his big ass.
No, I ain't
but that's my man, though. I mean, I love him to death. He knows that, and he can say whatever the hell he wants is okay. He gonna nobody makes more fun of me than him. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? So he cracks on me all the time. But in all seriousness, I mean, listen, if I had 2 players that I owe the greatest debt of gratitude to, it's Allen Iverson and it's Allen Iverson is just a story in and of himself. Yes. We can get into that. Yes. But here's where Shaq comes in. Shaq instantly took a liking to me because I didn't like how he was playing one time. And he rolled up on me. He's like, you know, what you talking about? What you saying? Whatever, roll up to me at a game. And I said, I meant that. Your big ass is too. What's wrong with you? You know, you got to handle your business. Come on now. You're the most dominant force of our lifetime. Now, damn it, I wasn't watching when Wilt Chamberlain was playing, okay? I'm watching you. Yeah. What you doing? You know, and I would get on him, you know? And so he was like, I went back down. And I would argue with him. And I said, I'm not going to let up. I said, because I'm rooting for you. I'm not rooting against you, right? And so every time I would run into him, I'd be like, you could do better. I mean, that's what you're doing, all right? And then he'll dominate. And then he looked at me one time. Is that good enough, motherfucker? You know, and I was like, yes, you know, and then we laugh about it in our relationship group from there. But he trusted me. He confided in me about a lot of things, both professional and personal. And, you know, that's something that I held near and dear. And he let me hold him accountable. He let me do my job. And I give his mama and his late dad, the Sarge, major credit because Mom would get on me. I mean, Mom rolled up on me. Mama Shaq one day rolled up on me. She was mad because she loves me. I love her to death and the whole bit. And she rolled up on me one day and was like, you too soft on my son. I don't like the fact that you letting him off the hook. Do your job. Hold him accountable. Well, yes, ma'am, you know. And so she would come at me like that and stuff like that. And he knew that. And the Sarge and Uncle Jerome. Yes. All these brothers don't play, man, you know, so because they love him and they hold him accountable. And so he knew that I was of that ilk and that his inner circle embraced me. So when he says that he deserves a lot of credit, I can't front. He does.
I can't lie.
He does. I can't lie.
And I got to give him that as well for me too.
It's the truth, Shaq.
He breathed so much life into me being undrafted.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people not believing in me and having the opportunity to play against Shaquille O'Neal, play with Shaquille O'Neal. And I never forget, I love him to death because he home team. Dan Lebatard wrote an article and said that Shaquille O'Neal has never won with a power forward small as me playing next to him in the NBA.
Yeah.
Now, I took offense because Shaquille O'Neal just won with Travis Knight. I wouldn't give a goddamn how tall he was. I would kick Travis Knight ass 7 days a week and twice on Sunday. So for you to say that pissed me off, Dan. But immediately when Shaquille O'Neal came to the Heat, he embraced me, he breathed life into me, and he made me feel like I was the best power forward in the world. And for that, I'm forever grateful to Big Fella.
Well, the big fella is just, he's different, bro. You know, he might call you out. He'll definitely clown you. Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. He's merciless with that. He ain't getting let anybody he could clown, anybody that he could utilize to get a good laugh. That's why Shaq and the Fool is one of the great segments, because it's so appropriate. Yes. Because it's him. That's what he does, you know. So that's true. But the other side to him, man, there's no one with a bigger heart that I've ever met. There's no one that does more for folks who are disenfranchised, for folks who are unfortunate, there's folks that, you know, just got challenges that the average folks don't have. Man, there's no bigger heart than Shaquille O'Neal. And oftentimes, I think, especially as I've gotten older, I think along these lines, it's like, when I pass away, when that day comes, what would I want? And what would I want is a whole lot of people at the funeral. Yeah. And Shaquille O'Neal is one of those people. There is no church, there is no arena, there's no place that you could fill up, you know, that would seat and fit all the people who love him. Wow. Because you know what a good brother he is. That's the Shaquille O'Neal I know.
That's so good.
That's a hell of a way to look at it. That's a great way to look at it. Yeah.
And let me tell you something. He is the most dominant player that I've ever seen in my two eyes. And you talk about another one, like AI was like, they're both so iconic based on where my life is and where I got in the league, and obviously UD as well. So tell us something about AI, because that dude right there, man, when you come about ball, he's like a junkie. So tell me about some of the stories covering him at his early age and with Larry Brown and stuff. What did you learn through that process?
AI knows. AI, you know, that's my little brother. And we've had our issues in the past, but we're very tight. We speak to each other at least twice a month. He was a nightmare to cover, bro. Because this cat always got into some when I was on vacation. And he never did it when I was right there in town. It was always, I'm on vacation, I'm in the islands, I'm at my undisclosed tropical locations. All of this. Steven, sorry, we need you to come on vacation. Allen Iverson is in the news. And I'm like, it would drive me crazy, because they knew if I couldn't find him, I'd find somebody close to him. Mm-hmm. Everybody knew that. Everybody knew that I was the go-to guy when it came to AI. And the thing about it is that he was a pain in the ass, but he was another dude with a big heart. At times, his heart was too big for the wrong people. And
know that feeling.
And the thing that I hate for him to this very day is how he's maligned, how he's insulted at times are by people who don't know him, who don't know his heart, and who don't know that he really didn't do most of the things people think he did. He's just not snitching on somebody who did. Mm-hmm. He's not doing it. It's to his grave. He's not doing it. He ain't throwing somebody else on the bus. And that just don't apply to his boys. It applies to his teammates. Yep. It applies to his contemporaries in the league. It applies to his family, anybody. If you are associated with AI, it's like, that's how it goes. He's not betraying you. He's just not doing it. And so because of that, he found himself in hot water on several occasions. Now, he and I think the two biggest stories with us, one time I'm covering the beat, and this cat just gets into one piece of shit after another, and he goes on into a slump. And it's so bad, he's got like a 10-game stretch where he's looking like straight garbage. And I don't know what the hell's going on with him. And so I write the story. This is the worst 10-game stretch this man has had. He shoot like 25% from the field. It was horrible, you know. And he goes out and he drops like 52, some shit like that. And we stand in his locker, and he's like, you know, because, you know, I was just going through some trials and tribulations, you know, and certain people in the media that, you know, just gonna write some shit about me and blah, blah. And I'm looking around like we all said the reporters, we had the locker, right? And I'm looking around like, who the hell did that? Who the hell did that shit? What are you talking about? Who did that to him? What was it? And everybody's looking at me. I'm like, me? You know, me? What? Because, you know, look, let me tell everybody something about the media. It's not what it is today. You got Twitter and all these social media handles, and it's no disrespect to anybody that's in the media today. I'm protective of my brethren, and I got love for them. And if you a beat writer and you covering the team, major props to you. Ain't nobody hating on you at all. We shouldn't. But the reality is that the game has changed because of the advent of social media, cell phones and cameras and everything being videotaped and all of this other stuff. You don't really have to cover the team the way we used to.
Yeah.
Like, you can get the news, you can react off of the news on social media. Back in my day, you had to go get the news.
Yeah.
Okay? So I'm sitting there, and you got to remember, negativity sells. So if I said 50% of the stuff that I knew, let alone 80 or 90% that I knew about AI at the time, oh, my career skyrockets. Because I'd live in the headlines.
Yeah.
I did no such thing. I ain't going out like that. Your personal business, what you do on the court, that's my domain.
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna report that. You shoot 2 for 20. Don't look at the paper tomorrow. Don't look at don't you dare, because you ain't gonna like what the hell you see. I'm telling you that right now. But your private business is your private business, you know. And I'm like, what? Me? You know, you talking to me? And called me out in front of the media like that. Man, I was so pissed. Me and AI didn't speak for 8 months.
Wow.
8 months. And strictly on basketball, I slice and dice him up and rake him through the coals. You know what I'm saying? Anything he did, I was on it. He did something positive, fine. He did something negative, that's your ass. I was on it. And it was so volatile. You know, he got so mad at me. His boy, Ra, God rest his soul. Ra was good people. And AI loved him to death. He rolled up on me. This has to stop. You need to meet with us. I said, where? He said, we're going to be at the club tonight. I rolled up there. It was on Spring Garden Street in Philadelphia. I rolled up there 2:15 in the morning, you know, by myself. What's up? I'm here. And me and AI talked it out. In 2 seconds, we was done, and then we was over with. And another time, he got upset at me, and this is where he was nearing retirement, and he was, you know, he and I didn't speak for a couple of years because he was living in Atlanta or whatever. And then I heard that, you know, he was looking for me, and people were wondering about what was going to happen if we ran into each other. I was like, what? So I got a couple of my boys. We rolled down to Atlanta, and I met up with him, and that was the most humbling experience that I've had in my career. Wow. Because I sat there with him. I had some cats with me. They were standing away from us and stuff, and he was just sitting there. And after all of this beef with us not talking for a couple of years, he looked at me and he said, I don't give a shit about the headlines. I don't care nothing about the story. Because all it did was me saying, you partying too much, you got to slow down, and you got to play ball, you know, if you're going to do this. He said, all I cared about is that it was you. And when he looked me in my face and said that it had never hit me before. That epiphany hit me. He didn't care about the story. He didn't care about my job. He's like, you, let somebody else do it. Yeah. Not you. Yeah. You're my man. And that's when I realized that our relationship had taken another level. he looked at me like a big bro, and he expected me to view him in that brotherly way. And from that day forward, I looked him dead in the face and I said, I will never write anything about you without talking to you first. I said, only on one condition, though. Don't make me have to look for you. I shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, but I've never done that again. And thank goodness he retired. And now that he's retired, I don't have to sit up there and hold back on being his brother and his friend.
Yes.
Now it don't matter. I don't give a damn what he going through. Not that he is going through anything because he's very happy. Yeah. But even if he was, he's my brother first. Before he was the subject I had to cover. I got a job to do, but I'm going to try to look out as best I possibly can. Now it's like bump all of that. He's my little brother. I love him to death. And I'm going to be here for him as a brother first no matter what.
By the way, that's super dope. The question I would have is just in the media side of things is like, how do you juggle stuff like that? Because it's true. Like do people in the media, in your opinion, take stuff personally on players? Like whether they talk to them, don't talk to them, they give it, like, how does that work? Because juggling, that's hard. Well, I don't know how you do that.
It's interesting that you asked that because, see, it's tricky, and I openly will confess that. But the first order of business, there's but so much that I can give a damn about.
Yeah.
I'm not having Thanksgiving dinner with you. I'm not exchanging Christmas gifts. I'm not trying to hurt you. I don't want you to hate me. But I don't care how you feel about me if it's based off of the premise that I'm doing my job. Now, if I'm being excessive, if I'm being personal, if I'm getting into your personal business, that's off limits. Yeah. What you doing with your personal life, listen, my rule is very simple. You ain't in the police blotters. You ain't break no laws. That's none of my business. That's your personal life. But you can't have me ignoring all of that because you always hear stuff and all this stuff, how you're living, how the lifestyle is and all this stuff. When you hear me bringing up somebody in the club or something like that, that ain't me. It's the fact that y'all already let it get out on TMZ. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. I ain't doing it. That kind of news ain't gonna originate from me. I'm not doing it. Yeah. You got marital problems. I'm not discussing that. Yeah. You broke up with your girl, your ex is now messing with somebody else. I'm not touching that. Yeah. Oh, Stephen A don't do that. Oh no, that's none of my business. Yeah. Man, the one ear out the other. If anything, I help you get over it. What you need me to, you know what I'm saying? This honey right here might be interested you to move on. Something like that. I mean, I'm not doing all of that. But what I'm saying is that within the confines of my job, that I have to do. And when somebody has a problem with that, what you telling me is you don't give a damn about my life, my career, my quality of life. All you care about is me looking out for you. And I can't do that. So, listen, I give you a perfect example. You see people at the white party, Michael Rubin's white party, fanatics. Yeah. I be joking around about going, I ain't planning on going there. I'll probably never get an invite. But it ain't because of Michael Rubin. It's because you got cats that'll be there that don't want me there. Now, let me tell you how.
Is that serious?
It's that serious. Let me tell you how full of shit they are. Let me tell you, I'm not talking about Michael Rubin. I'm just using that as an example. Yeah. I'm talking about the people that wouldn't want me there. And I'm not saying somebody told them something. I don't know. I didn't ask. Yeah. But I'm just telling you, I know they wouldn't want me there. Here's what I'm saying. You was in the NBA for 20 years. Eminem, you've been in the NBA for the years that you was in there, over a decade plus. I've been covering the NBA for over 25, approaching 30 years, bro. Tell me one time y'all heard Stephen A. betrayed somebody. He said something, we gave it to him off the record. He said it on the record. We were here in private. Stephen A. put it out there in public. Take your time, I'll wait. It's never happened. It's never happened. Dog, I'm from the streets. That's where I'm from. There's a code. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? That's why when Steven Jackson came out with that shit, that pissed me off. When you talking about I'm snitching because, I called the NBA office to ask about Russell Westbrook. Well, I was doing NBA Countdown. Mm-hmm. The Clippers and the Mavs was the game. Yeah. We were the pregame. They said he didn't get suspended. Stephen A. found out why. What am I supposed to do to my bosses? No. I can't call the league office and call Joe D. All right, had this been Draymond Green, y'all would have suspended him. Why didn't y'all suspend here? Now, I'm unapologetic by feeling that Russell Westbrook, who, by the way, I love, has no love for me. I don't give a damn. I got love for him because I know he's a real one. And I know what he's doing in the community outside of basketball. I got nothing but love for him. He just mad at me because he gets mad at me sometimes because I remind him he ain't got no damn jump shot. That's all. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all it is. And he's still a Hall of Famer. He's still a great player. But damn it, shooting ain't your strength. That's all. But the point is, I thought he should have been suspended after his behavior, flinging around Luka and all of that. I think it was game 3. It was either game 2 or game 3. I'm on the record. You know where I stand.
Yeah.
But that got nothing to do with me calling the league office to find out why you didn't suspend him. That was about me doing my job for NBA Countdown. So you got Wallow and Gilly, or Gilly for Wallow and Gilly, going off about how you gonna call the league office, and Steven Jackson like, how are you gonna call the league office? Because it's my damn job. I cover the NBA. What are you talking about? So you see people, you got Draymond, and he went on Shaq podcast. Love me some Draymond. Yeah. It don't matter what Draymond say, don't matter how he feels or whatever. I love me some Draymond Green because he's a real one, and that's all I care about. Yeah. That's why I love you, because you've always been real. That's why I love Mike, because he's always been real. If you real and you honest and you straightforward and you ain't sending hanger-ons to come talk some shit to me, and you doing it yourself, if I'm wrong, I'll apologize. Yeah. I'll correct it. It won't happen again. Yeah. But if I'm right, I'm not budging. I'm not budging. I'm not moving because I'm right. And so I'm sitting there, I'm having a conversation. You Draymond, and you gonna go to Shaq. Stephen A. pissed me off. Huh? Well, why I pissed you off? Because I picked up the phone and called you and said, it was hard to talk to you. It was hard to talk about you. It's hard because you've been ejected 20 times and now you got this suspension and they talking about you. Yeah. So I got love for you. I don't enjoy this. Yeah. That's basically what the call was. Yeah. Well, you go to Shaq and you like, and other people, and that's letting this narrative go out about mental health. Well, if you go back to the tape, UD, I was the one that was like, yo, KD, what you doing? What you doing talking about him and mental health? You know how society gonna treat that black man? Yeah. You know they gonna jump on this and talk about anger management and therapy and all of this other stuff, trying to paint us in this light. You know that. What you do? I was the one that was speaking for Draymond. Yeah. So, yes, he ultimately apologized and all of that stuff on the air with TNT, with Shaq and all of them. But I'm sitting there like, I accept your apology, good brother. I know that, and I can understand that he expected more from me, similar to what AI did. Yeah. But you don't know my number? Yeah. You couldn't have called? Yeah. Because, see, I could have corrected that immediately. Yeah. Yo, Stephen A., man, I ain't like this. Here's what I didn't like. Yo, bro, we'd have had that conversation. If you right, I'm going to correct it immediately. We going to squash that. When stuff like that don't happen, and let me, because I'm older than everybody in this room, all right? I may not look it anymore, but damn it, I'm 56, okay? Here's the deal. Always remember I said this. The world that we living in right now in this business, and especially you, D, because I believe you're going to be a star in this business, bro. I really, really mean that. I'm serious. I've already told ESPN, you the future, bro. You, my man, Kendrick Perkins, and all, please. Yeah, I'm here, but they there. You brothers are going to do some big things, and I really believe in you. I really mean that. I got to tell you, here's what you got to watch out for. You going to say people don't like. You going to say people might not agree with. But if they down with you, you can have a conversation. Mm-hmm. The ones that don't talk to you, that avoid you, that ultimately stop speaking to you, they were never down for you. Mm-hmm. They were waiting for an excuse to say bump you. Mm-hmm. They were never there for you. Because if we about more than that, these are not big issues. Mm-hmm. Nothing that can't be resolved with a conversation. That's what it's all about. And when people don't give you the opportunity to do that, that's because they wanted to hate on you. Mm. And if you wanted to hate on me, I'm good with it. Mm. Because that means I'm no longer fooled by the notion that you wanted to be a friend and a brother and show mutual respect.
Yeah.
Nah, your agenda was different. And I don't lose a second of sleep over somebody like that.
Man, I'm happy. I'm so happy you said that because I had to learn early. And this is a conversation that nobody knew that we had, but I sat down and had this conversation with you at lunch. It was a conversation about Tyler Herro and a conversation about should he be coming off the bench, should he be a starter, or whatever the situation may be. And I gave my opinion on that. And I felt like it might have got taken out of context. And I also didn't think about how it might have been affect the Herro, which is my young boy. And I consider those guys like little brothers to me, and I never want to disrespect them. I never want to mislead them. I never want to, any of that. But OG want the best for you. So having a conversation with you, asking you about how to be on this side of things, but also make sure that I'm being considerate and having compassion for my other people on the other side. And you had to break it down for me. And taking your advice, I ended up pulling up on Herro. Pulled up to his house one day. He was working out. I called him at the end of his workout. We spoke at the workout. We ended up having breakfast together, and we talked about it, and more of the conversation was just like AI. I was just disappointed it was you, OG.
Right.
It's not about what was said. It was that fact that it was you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that was a conversation that I had with Herro before about him being a great six man. He won 6 Man of the Year.
Right.
He got his money.
Right.
So I didn't look at it as a situation where it could be negative. But at the end of the day, that's not my job. That's not my job to worry about,
Well,
it's not my job
you
to
can. Let me say this to you. You can worry.
What I'm saying is not my job to not make it negative. It's saying it's not my job to affect what his role is. It's not my job to affect what his role is. It's only my job to guide him and breathe life into him in whatever role he has.
But that ain't the only job you have. You also have a job now that you volunteered for where you talking basketball. And so what happens is Tyler Herro, who I like a lot.
I love Herro, and we spoke about it.
That's
and
right.
We good.
Who I like a lot. Tyler Herro has a responsibility to remember who you are and what you have been. And that one comment doesn't erase everything, especially if it has an opportunity to be accurate. Tyler Herro can ball.
Yes.
He can ball. So why are we always talking about somebody else coming on the Miami Heat? Because Miami need him. What you going to do about that, Tyler? What you going to do about it? Because you can ball. He ain't no scrub.
No.
His brother got game.
Not at all.
And when he brings his A game, how does Miami look? I got news for you. We're talking about Jimmy Butler. I'm gonna bring it home to you. You ain't got to comment. This is Stephen A. talking. He ain't got to do this. I ain't gonna put you in that position. Let me be very, very clear. Jimmy Butler, brother's a winner. He's a warrior.
Yes.
But he ain't no young spring chicken in basketball parlance. We wouldn't be talking about what more Jimmy Butler need to do or what more the Miami Heat needed if Tyler Herro brought his A game every night. We wouldn't be doing that. Because this is not a brother that can't play. This is a brother that can play. This is not a brother that can't make a difference. This is a brother that can. The handle, the shot making ability, the heart, the whole bit. Yo, you can make a difference.
Yes.
And so knowing that you can make that difference, but that people have legitimate evidence to point to that shows that you didn't do that on a continuous basis. I understand his sensitivity for it coming out of your mouth. I get that part. But what about the part, OG on me? Because OG love me. Because OG want the best for me. And he want the best for the Heat. He don't want me in another uniform. He don't want me out of town. He want me here. I know this. What happened to that? On too many occasions, we put the onus on pundits, on the messengers. Yo, bro, I got a secret to tell you. I love me some Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant is a good brother.
I do too.
And I think that this brother, all he want to do is ball. You think I like saying, yo, bro, if Steph Curry win this championship against Boston, they going to be talking, when they talking about you, they going to be talking about more about how you left him for Kyrie than you did helping him win 2 championships. They're going to remember you a champion, and you're a 2-time champion, you're a 2-time NBA Finals MVP because you're too great to ignore that. But that's not going to be the narrative. They're going to focus on that. You think I like saying, KD, yo, man, you march to the beat of your own drum. You want to play ball. You want to go home in terms of ingratiating yourself with your teammates and being that leader that peels greatness out of them. That's not what you're known for. You think I like saying that? You think I like echoing the stuff that people close to you that you don't know about, that you play with, that you play against, that you play for and stuff like that? That they echo to the media that has circulated around NBA circles? I don't enjoy that. Okay? I don't sit up there with a smile on my face and say this stuff rooting for him to fail. And, Paul George, you just went to Philadelphia. Paul George is one of the best human beings I've ever met as a professional athlete. He right up there with D-Wade. D-Wade, because D-Wade, you know how I feel about D-Wade. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you see cats. LeBron, I don't have the greatest relationship with LeBron James. I don't give a damn about not having the greatest relationship with LeBron James. But I know he's great. I know that brother on the Mount Rushmore. I know he's a great father, a great family man, a great basketball ambassador, a great role model, damn it, great businessman. I want him to get an ownership stake in the new Las Vegas franchise that the NBA decides to do an expansion franchise. I want all of that. And I don't have no kind of relationship with LeBron James like that, okay? But in the same breath, you think I enjoy having to say, yo, bro, you was scared to shoot in the 4th quarter in that final series against Dallas. You had J.J. Barea and Jason Terry guarding you. That's why you're never getting my GOAT status over MJ. I don't enjoy it. I'm just talking. We talk basketball. Yeah. And we live in a society today where we got a whole bunch of punks out here, okay? And what I mean by that is cats who are scared to speak their mind about people that you do like. Anybody can talk about somebody they don't like. Yeah. Anybody can talk about somebody they don't know. Yeah. But the real courage comes from you having to be real about people you do like and you do look up to and you do respect and you do know are great. What you gonna say real about them? That's where the courage comes from. You got cats, trolls. I'm supposed to sit up there and, oh my God, Stephen A. And it's and all the headlines. I don't know if you noticed this. Look at YouTube because everybody need clicks. Everybody trying to get paid. They don't want to go out there and get real jobs. You know, we want to sit up there. We want to make these clicks and we want to get these likes and all this and generate revenue and come across and feign this passion. See, I ain't feigning because I've been doing this since 1993. That's 30 years. It's 31 years I've been doing this. You seen me fake over the years? Who seen me fake? Who? Where you at? Name the time and place I'll show up since we want facts, right? But you got these cats out here, and they'll sit up there and they'll troll and they'll talk and they'll chirp and all this other stuff, acting like they upset and they pissed off and who the hell is he to say, well, who the you? What exactly have you done? Oh, is it Stephen A? You couldn't play ball. Blah. Oh, really? Scholarship paid for my education. I started out as an intern at the Winston-Salem Journal and the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, and then back to the Winston-Salem Journal, and then the Greensboro News and Record. Then after that, I went to the New York Daily News, which is the top 10 major metropolitan newspaper, where I started off as a high school reporter, elevated in 14 months to a job at the Philadelphia Inquirer, one of the top broadsheet papers in the United States of America. I get promoted 7 damn times. I take a salary that goes from $53,000 to $225,000. Oh, by the way, I go from that to Fox Sports. Okay, before that, CNNSI. After that, ESPN. I'm in the news talking about what money I'm making. That's what we doing. Y'all filming me while I'm walking into arena like I asked for this. Like I asked for somebody to film me. Now I didn't mind because I was rocking. I was rocking that badass Tom Ford suit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna pimp it right. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, I didn't ask them to follow me, but everybody making news about them following me while I'm walking into the tunnel. Well, JJ Redick was walking into the tunnel. You filmed him. Mike Breen walked into the tunnel. You filmed him. Monica McNutt rolled up through the tunnel. You filmed her. Malika Andrews rolled up in the tunnel. You filmed her. Bob Myers and Adrian Wojnarowski rolled up in there. You filmed them. But Stephen A's the problem. Who the hell he think he is?
Yours was a little more swaggy, though.
So, of course.
Yeah, yours was a little more swaggy.
No doubt.
Yeah, but swaggy now.
But listen, all I'm trying to say is that you got these people that's talking, and it's like, asking what I did. I can literally pull out a resume. I can literally say, Google me. But you the one talking about what I'm qualified for. My qualifications are all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
All over the place for the world to see. Yes. And I'm watching it, and I got to be careful because I'm sitting there and I'm going like, where the sensitivity comes from, when you're looking at players, it's like, damn, y'all, we can't talk basketball, which was what used to piss me off about LeBron. The second you give him major props for what he accomplished, he soak it all in. The second you criticize him, well, I'm just trying to be here for the kids and, just trying to do what's right for the community. And it pissed me off because that was a slick way of taking attention away from the basketball element and making it about something other than basketball, which was what we were talking about. And then you got the trolls in social media who follow. Mm-hmm. And that's what people are trying to convince you makes the most noise. Yeah. But they ain't the ones that make the most noise. I'll allow them to think that and let them squeak every now and then. You said they'll squeak every now and then. Why? Because you can do what you want to do. But at the end of the day, what you have to say ain't gonna matter compared to what I have to say if you're a troll. Because trolls don't have resumes. I do.
Hey,
you hear that, Killer?
Hey, I love that shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. You got me motivated right now. Hey, but I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. Though, because to me, there's been a ton of storylines this summer in the NBA. We're just talking NBA. I know I hear you talk blue and orange skies all the time. That was a big trade, right?
Yep.
You got Paul George to Philadelphia. That's an awesome thing. Clay leaves Golden State, which is crazy. And, it's a big shift in the landscape of things. You got Bronny playing with Bron in LA. Where do you think in all those headlines, what do you think are the most important for the NBA as it sits right now? And where do you think it goes from here? Is it Clay to the Mavs? Is it CP3 to the Spurs? Is it Paul George to Philadelphia? Is it Bronny playing with Bron? Like, what's the storyline, and where are you at with that?
Well, Clay to the Mavs is important because the Mavs were just in the finals. Mm-hmm. So we're going to see the difference between what he could do for them compared to what Derrick Jones did for them. Your dude.
My guy.
Brother can ball. Defensively, just couldn't shoot. How I told
different
you.
Skill sets. Those different skill sets.
There's different skill sets, right? But he can play.
Yes.
And he got himself a contract, and I'm happy for him. But Clay, if that brother, Klay Thompson shot 41% from threes since the All-Star break. Yes. And 45% from the field. Yes. And averaged close to 20 points. Everybody walking around acting like anybody could do that. The brother spent the first nine of his first 10 years in the league. He spent the first 9 of his 10 years in the league shooting better than 40% from three-point range. Klay Thompson is special.
Yes.
And I got love for him. We're going to see what happens because age and Father Time is undefeated. But it's not just because he's with the Mavs. We got to wonder what impact that's going to have on Steph and the Warriors. Steph not having him to lean on. Kuminga and Podziemski got to elevate their game.
Yes.
Okay, I love to pick up a Buddy Hield. I think that works for them, right? But it still doesn't mean that more is not going to be required of Steph. And if that is the case, what is that going to bleed from him? We got to ask ourselves that. That's number one. Number two, Paul George. If Embiid is healthy, there's no excuses. There's no excuses. Embiid on one leg averaged 35 against the Knicks. On one leg. We know how big time Embiid is. We know that Tyrese Maxey is special. Brother got $204 million extension.
Yes.
I felt sorry for him. He deserved more. I know that's the max they could give him, but I'm just talking about his greatness. He deserved more. I know they couldn't give him more, but he deserved more. If Paul George is what Paul George is supposed to be,
yes,
Maxey, Embiid, and Paul George, as much as I love my Knicks, orange and blue skies, baby, they don't come before Philly and Boston. We know Boston's on another level. They the champions. They the reigning defending champions, and we'll see what happens with them. But Embiid with Maxey and Paul George, yes, I believe in that. That's big. Look, the Knicks, rough riders, hard nose, fight you. I didn't like the loss of Hartenstein, but OG and Mikal Bridges were the priority. Yeah, I got to get those two.
Man.
I got to keep those two. All right, I got to get Bridges. I got to keep OG. Look, damn it, I like Hartenstein. We should be able to replace him.
Yeah.
We should be able to replace him. Okay. I wish I could say more about y'all Miami Heat. I don't believe. I believe they'll be good. Can't rule out Bam. Can't rule out Tyler. Can't rule out Jimmy Buckets. I get that. Never ruling out Spoelstra, who I think is a Hall of Fame coach, one of the greatest coaches we've ever seen. I love Spoelstra. And damn it, as long as Pat Riley is around, there's no such thing as the word suck when it comes to anything he touches. I just don't believe it. So because of that, I like it. My problem with Miami is twofold. I really wish y'all had gotten DeMar DeRozan. I really think that would have helped y'all.
Yeah.
You didn't get it done. You didn't get Damian Lillard last year, which I thought would have helped y'all. You didn't get it done. So you need somebody, because that way you can keep Jimmy around, if so be it, and he can help you be there those big moments, but you don't need him that much during the 82 games.
Yeah.
Right? But you also need to get a legit big man so Bam Adebayo can be the natural four that he is. You don't have that. You're asking a lot of him. I'm glad he got his extension. Yeah. He deserved every penny. I wish him nothing but the best. But you need a bigger body to throw out there with him so you're not asking so much from him. Mm-hmm. And I think that's important. I'm done with the Clippers. I'm done with them. Okay? Don't give a shit what nobody say. Kawhi Leonard is, I've said this many times on national television, I'm going to say it on your podcast. He's the worst superstar anybody could ever have. He's the worst. He is a superstar player who misses 60% of his playoff games.
But this year.
I said playoffs. He played 68% during the regular season. He didn't play in the playoffs.
But this year, he was really hurt this year in the playoffs.
No, he's really hurt every year. I'm not questioning his injury.
During the season, sometimes during the season.
I'm not questioning the legitimacy. Let me tell you something. I would never disrespect y'all by saying that somebody's injury is fake. He's a professional athlete. He's the greatest professional athletes in the world. That you got, the only injury I've ever questioned is that damn Ben Simmons.
Your key word is playoffs. So
that damn Ben Simmons.
Your key word is playoffs.
That damn Ben Simmons. Don't get me started on that damn Ben Simmons. This brother, I'm just not going to even go there. He's lucky he's not in prison for death.
You down here in Miami, I can show you where he work out. He be working out down
really?
here. Really?
I'm sure he did work out down here. I'm sure of all the places he could really get focused and zero in on his basketball prowess, he going to pick Miami. I'm sure he is down here, his Zoolander ass up. Don't get me started. This brother right here, come on, man. The skill set that he had, I know he couldn't shoot, but everything else he has, he don't want to play. He don't love the game. I'm not saying he wasn't injured, but I'm talking about an absence of love for the game. Remember, he was missing games before he was injured. They pointed to mental health. We can't dismiss the importance of mental health. The reason why I'm critical of it is because that never prevented you from making sure that check was in your account every 2 weeks. He never missed it. No. He never missed it. He always made sure that cash was there, but he wanted to play. Yeah. So don't get me started with him. But here's back to Kawhi Leonard. You know where I got really, really salty about Kawhi Leonard? It's not because of his injury, per se. It's not even because he missed all of them damn playoff games. In part, it's because he does nothing to promote his team or the sport. Marketing is important. He does nothing in that regard. Even his own commercial for New Balance, the little kids are talking, but not him. Think about that. It's the truth. Go back and look at it. Wow. The kids are talking in the commercial, but the person they paying for it won't say anything. Wow. Now, come on, man. Now, don't tell me you can't speak. I understand you don't want to advertise, but you can talk. You can say a sentence, something. Damn, okay? So we got that problem. Here's the other problem. I don't think I've ever been more pissed off at a dude wearing a Team USA uniform. Remember how excited he was when they came to him and Grant Hill and them put him on Team USA? Do you know how many games you've missed? To be talking about playing in the summer, you might get hurt from the flight to Paris. I'm not letting you play. If I'm Steve Ballmer, I'm a billionaire. I will use every means at my disposal to make sure this man ain't on Team USA. Because for one reason and one reason only, I don't trust that you're going to leave healthy. I promise you. You tell me right now, if I said, UD, Eminem, you got to bet me your check that this man going to play this summer and he going to be healthy for the season. None of y'all are taking that bet. You know I'm telling the truth. You know I'm telling the truth. You're not taking that bet. You're not doing it. And so if you know that, it's like, I understand Team USA. I understand the nostalgia, the patriotism, the international competition. I get it. But damn, bro, you keep signing these extensions. And you're never around when it really, really counts. If Kawhi Leonard is healthy, I can make a legitimate argument the Clippers would have won a championship by now.
Oh, they were looking good.
Clippers
At one point,
you make a great argument. You make a great argument.
December and January, they was the best team in the league.
The
December
Clippers,
and January.
led by Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is so great. Kawhi Leonard could have led the Clippers to a championship if he were healthy. How are you cool with volunteering your services for something that does not pay you when you are repeatedly unavailable for the people who do pay you? Now, I understand patriotism and all that other stuff. Damn it, red, white, and blue, America first. I'm down. I want us to win. I want us to win gold. I'm rooting for us in Paris. I ain't rooting against us. I want you to beat Slovenia. I want you to beat Spain. Yeah. I damn sure want you to beat Wembanyama and Rudy Gobert for France. I want you to win. But damn, I mean, come on. You got to be available for your day job first. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean,
I stand by that. I do.
Can't argue that. I really can't.
No, you can't argue that. One thing I will say is, like, regardless of whether people agree with you, you have your facts. No. You ain't making up throwing it at the wall to see if it sticks.
Not at all.
Like, you ain't got to agree
Not
with me.
at all.
I'm spitting facts.
That's right.
You something like a pimp too. Like, your wordplay is crazy. Like, I'm a little jealous because my wordplay.
I gotta be careful though, because now I'm doing so much. With social issues, social commentary, politics, pop culture and entertainment. That's not been my lane, but everybody comes to me asking me all the time to speak on these issues, these appearances and all of this other stuff. And I'm like, damn, I got to, especially with the politics joint. It's just no joke. And so you just got to be ready for anything, man. You just got to.
I want to piggyback on what you said though, because Buddy, I like Buddy.
Yep.
Buddy, good dude, Bahamas. Mm-hmm. Damn near like another extension of Miami.
Yes,
spent a lot of time over there at Bahamas. Bahamians take care of me over there. So word to the wise out there in Golden State, get him some conch salad. You get Buddy some conch salad, he gonna be all right over there. You get him some conch. I don't know if y'all got that. I don't know if y'all got that shit in Golden State. Get the man some conch salad. You get some Buddy some conch salad, he gonna light that shit up out there.
That's right.
Paul George in Philly. That right there, and I have been calling it ever since his name was mentioned. I called it on First Take. That is the move that I think is going to be, and I understand, what Clay means, but that move for Paul George going to Philly, that is the move that I think is going to be the biggest move. Because if you look at what Philly did last year, they were 25th in catch and shoot threes.
Right.
Paul George shot 52% on catch and shoot threes.
Right.
That is a strength that he has, a skill set that they need.
That's what you're looking at.
Also,
I'm looking at his ability to defend against Tatum or Brown.
I was coming to that too, because you ain't let me finish. Caleb Martin, Kelly Oubre, and Paul George. You have multiple defenders for Tatum and Brown. They have Kelly Oubre too, Caleb Martin, and Paul George. They have multiple defenders for those two guys.
No disagreement.
You know what I'm saying?
No disagreement.
And I love a pick and roll with Maxey and Embiid, throwing it back to Paul George coming off to his right hand, because he is a monster with his coming off to his right hand. So I love everything about that move. I think that move is going to be the biggest move of the summer.
You know, the thing about it is, man, we can't, and I know I mentioned Embiid early, but we got to pause for a second and really, really take a moment to embrace this brother's greatness.
Oh, yeah, he's a bad boy.
This brother Embiid, man.
He's a bad boy.
Now, the brother ain't been out of the second round. He ain't never played no conference finals. But as a talent at the center position, he is in the conversation as one of the greatest talents we have ever seen in the history of basketball. Tell me a 7'1" dude who could do all the things that he does while also playing defense, being a shot blocker, a rebounder, And here's the thing that we have to remember about Embiid. Everybody that is his position, he's never disrespected Jokic, but he's given it to Jokic.
Yes.
I remember when I watched him put 47 on
Yes.
Jokic.
I remember that.
You understand what I'm saying?
That.
This is Jokic we're talking about, right? It don't matter what big man you throw at Embiid. Embiid ain't running. He ain't hiding. This brother will step on the court and he will bust your ass.
Yeah.
It is just that simple. And I remember, and you know, he didn't play at the game in Denver at the last minute or something. That. And I remember everybody was so salty. It was a nationally televised game. And it was very unfortunate. But I know that if Embiid could play, he'd play. That brother ain't scared of nobody. And he'll give it to you. He'll give anybody 30. Yeah. Just ask him. Just ask him. And he'll tell you about it beforehand. Yeah. And then step on the court and do it.
I just wish
and beat the real deal.
Great shape. Just get in great shape. Because I think that has to do with some of his injuries.
Yeah, but you got to remember, the reason why we can't hold him but so accountable for that is because all of his injuries have been, not all of them, but most of his injuries have been in the lower extremities. He came into the league, he had to miss the first 2 seasons, his foot. And then there's been the knee here. He had some facial fracture at one point in time or another. But most of his injuries have been in the lower extremities. So what do? You're working on everything else, but you can't get in shape without working on your legs. Yeah. And that's his problem.
Man, if he get in great shape, the league and his job, man.
If he get in great shape. I want to chime in on that because I love that because I think Embiid's a generational dude too. Obviously.
Yeah.
Why do you think? What is it that hasn't got him out of the second round? Because like you talk about Joker, right? Like I was with Joker when he came in the league. I saw him as the Taco Bell guy who got drafted in the second round. I was there for the whole process. Mm-hmm. I
can answer that question.
Hold up. Is it roster creation? Is it because Joker? I mean, obviously Jamal Murray's elite, but so is Tyrese Maxey. So, like, what is it that takes to the next level? Because Joker's done it in one of NBA Finals and done it through an unbelievable situation where he didn't have. I mean, their roster was great, but at the same time, Tyrese Maxey, Jamal Murray, pretty similar. Like, is it just health? Is it what do you think it is that needs to take him to the next thing? Because that's to me to put him at that level, it's the winning.
In today's day and age, all I'm going to do is give it to you from the non-player pundit perspective. You got to want it. Mm-hmm. There's so much money out here. Y'all know this better than me. There's a comfort level that kicks in where you know the check is coming or the check is going to be there. And because it's guaranteed, you always put shit off until tomorrow. I can take care of this tomorrow. I can do this next week. I ain't got to worry about this. I ain't got to worry about it. There's some level of intestinal pride and fortitude that has to kick in. One of the things that I'm particular about, like, there's a method to my madness sometimes when I'm joking about South Beach or I'm joking about L.A. Lala, calling L.A. Lala. I'm thinking about the major cities. Yes, I'm thinking about the honeys. Yes, I'm thinking about the environment. I'm thinking about all of that. Why am I thinking about all of that? Because it's distractions. When you see, for example, in Miami, and the distractions that exist, and you are D. Wade, and you LeBron, and you Bosh, and you UD, and you Chalmers, and you everybody else, right? And you go out there and you win championships. You're thinking about the Beatles kind of atmosphere that associates everything, stuff, the temptation, the distractions, and all of this that comes your way, and you win anyway. Those are people that can win anywhere. Mm-hmm. They're natural born winners. Nothing's going to distract them from your ultimate goal. But if you someplace you freezing, you cold, ain't nothing to do, and all you got is your profession, there's no excuse because you should be locked in. Mm-hmm. But it's easier to be locked in. Yeah. And so I notice the character of players, not just because I was watching, not just because I was sitting courtside, not just because I've been in the locker room all of these years and stuff, but it's also because I talk to the people who know. Mm-hmm. And they've taught me this is what it is. Mm-hmm. And when you have that and you're able to overcome anyway because you remain laser focused, that's what it's about. so many of the dudes in today's game lack the focus because they good. You see people right now, they playing. Now, I'm not hating. I love the fact that you got cats that got their own podcasts and stuff like that. You know, you're doing what you're doing. That's cool.
Yeah.
No problem. Get yours. Diversify your portfolio. Create additional opportunities for yourself. But it can't be at the expense of your production from your real job.
Yeah.
Because if that's the case, you got a problem. I take it, a lot of people look at me, yo, man, I'm so blessed. I'm in the best shape I've been in 30 years. I've lost close to 40 pounds. Wow. My body fat, I was skinny fat with a nasty pot belly. I was so embarrassing, I didn't want to look at myself in the damn mirror. I removed my mirrors from the bathroom and shit. I was so embarrassed. I just looked that bad. You know, I go from that and 29.8% body fat to 10.6% body fat. Wow. You know, I'm slim, but I'm toned now. I'm cut. I'm in the gym 6 days out of the week. I'm taking care of myself. My cholesterol dropped by 100%. My insulin levels dropped from like a 27 to a 2. I'm not messing around. I'm 56. Why the hell did I do it? You gotta have some pride.
Yeah.
You gotta care. You gotta be like, yo, I can't just sit around just look. I can't just sit around looking like this. I'm covering professional athletes. I'm holding them accountable for how they look, how much in shape they are, whatever. Well, what you doing? You see what I'm saying? Now, some people can't help it.
Yeah.
Some people are just naturally big. Some people, I get all of that. But are you doing all that you can to maximize your potential? If that answer is no, what the hell are you doing holding other people accountable for it for? When you ain't even trying, that's what I'm talking about. And you could spot it a mile away, man, where you got cats that are just comfortable. Yeah. You got cats in y'all league, the NBA. I'm going to call it y'all league, not just mine. More so y'all's. If they never win a championship, they good.
They all right with that, yeah.
They all right with that. Yeah. Now, if you don't win, but you went all out, we going to write your epitaph and we going to be like, yo, you a hell of a player. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? I'm pissed off. It sickens me that Carmelo Anthony never won a championship. But I love that brother, and I know how much that brother cared. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? And, yo, he didn't win. Right in his epitaph, brother Hall of Fame talent. You understand what I'm saying? Overall, Hall of Fame don't include just the NBA. It's your collegiate career. He's a national champion of Syracuse, all this other All-American, blah, blah, blah. Perennial All-Star. All right, you want to give him Hall of Fame credentials? Boom, I'm down for that. You see what I'm saying? But there are so many players that have never won, that never cared when they were playing. I want my numbers. I want my paper. Yeah. Give me my numbers. Give me my paper. We good. Mm-hmm. And they don't give a shit. And those are the people, I know who they are. I know who they are, bro. Yeah. And let me tell you, as long as I'm alive and I'm breathing and I got a vote and my shit counts, they ain't getting away with that. They ain't getting away with cheating the game like that. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. Nah. I mean, what I would say about, to your question, Mike, for me, Embiid is so great that he hasn't even gotten out of his comfort zone yet. Yep. And I think he has to understand how to get comfortable being uncomfortable. You can't create these habits in the playoffs. You have to build these habits over the 6-7 months in the season. So when the playoffs come, there is no situation that you are not prepared for. There is no game. I don't give a damn if it goes 7 quarters that you're not in shape to finish. Mm-hmm. This is that Pat Riley that I got in my head. There is no situation that you are not prepared to conquer at any time. So for me, his next step is to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And I think that's what because Joker, we can look at Joker and we can say he ain't in shape. I ain't never seen him up tired. Yeah. I ain't never seen him not being able to finish the game. Yeah. I've never seen him out there limping up and down the court like he can't keep up. I've never seen that from the Joker.
He's healthy, though. And Embiid is I think Embiid worries so much about injury that his priority is to get to the playoffs healthy enough to play because he's that scared he won't be available. That's what I think is the issue with Embiid. I don't know this. I've never talked to him about this. I'll ask him about it the next time I see him. But I think that's the issue with Embiid. But as a player, as a talent, look, I love Jokic. Mm-hmm. There is no big man in the world that I want more than Embiid if Embiid is healthy.
Oh, hell no.
If Embiid is healthy,
twice on Sunday.
There's no big man in today's game that I want more than him if he's healthy.
Oh, this is like taking Shaq, but saying I wish he had a jump shot.
That's right.
I ain't taking nothing away from Embiid. I'm taking Embiid.
That's right.
I'm just saying that little piece right there. If he had that, that'd be perfection. But no player is perfect. Everybody got something, man.
No doubt.
Now we're gonna get into our Too Easy segment, sponsored by Morgan and Morgan.
No, I was going to ask another follow-up question because, like, with Summer League going on now, we're getting ready for Vegas Summer League, which is an unbelievable time of the year. Like, and there's going to be a lot of changes that happen, but majority of the big changes that has happened with free agency. Who do you got right now? Is can Boston repeat? Is it going to be New York? Is it going to be Philly? Like, who do you see winning the championship next year? Because that's the next phase for us in the NBA.
That West coming.
I think Boston should be the favorites to repeat. I had them winning the championship, and then I jumped off the bandwagon in the finals because of the way Kyrie and Luka was flowing.
So me too.
Me too.
But the biggest reason I picked against Boston is because I never thought Porzingis would play in the finals. I thought that what he looked like in game one, I couldn't believe it. I almost fainted. I couldn't believe it. And was effective in game two until the fourth quarter arrived. I was shocked at what they did to Dallas in game three. I was stunned by that. But props to them. If Embiid is healthy, based off of what we saw and how the moment wasn't too big for him, you could easily put Boston as the favorites to repeat. Minnesota needs another weapon offensively before we want to elevate them. I don't think that Clay is enough to offset. See, to me, even though Clay is important and Luka is big time, I think that Luka, because of how much he holds on to the ball, sort of disrupts the rhythm of Dallas from time to time. I thought that Luka should have got the ball more to Kyrie, right? I believe it was game three. I'm like, you're disrupting his rhythm. He's flowing. Get him the ball. Give it to him. You see what I'm saying? Just let him do his thing. You got to wonder about that. I would also keep my eyes on Oklahoma City. I think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he was my league MVP. I think he is a superstar in the making. He is something spectacular. And them young thoroughbreds that they got, I think Hartenstein comes in there and gives them more bites at the apple offensively because of his prowess on the boards. And I think that helps them immensely. And I would say the number one threat to Dallas in the Western Conference is the team that they beat in the conference semifinals, which is OKC.
And Chicago gave him away for a bag of chips and a soda.
Caruso. Yeah, you got Caruso over there too. Like,
Caruso away for a bag of chips and a soda.
Defenders.
That's right.
Yeah, you got great.
That's right.
That's interesting.
Crazy.
For sure.
It's crazy.
What do you think about the DeJounte Murray to the Pelicans, out of curiosity? They keep Brandon Ingram.
Not a damn thing. But that's no knock against him. DeJounte Murray could play. Didn't quite mesh in Atlanta with Trae Young. Trae Young's a volume shooter. He's got to improve his accuracy and, dare I say, his focus. Being in the ATL, you got to show up. You got to show up. Otherwise, people gonna think you distracted. DeJounte Murray could play, no doubt. But we all know when it comes to the Pelicans, it don't matter who the hell you bring up. If it ain't Zion Williamson, it don't matter. It comes down to him. And what we saw him do in that second matchup against LeBron and the Lakers before he went down, we saw him in beast mode. And he was in attack mode and went after it before he hurt himself. If that dude shows up for the Pelicans and he's healthy in the playoffs, the Pelicans can make some noise.
What do you do with B.I.?
I love Willie.
Yes, Willie's good people.
Willie's a good dude.
Willie's good.
S.A., what do you do with B.I. over there? What do you do with B.I. over there, S.A.?
With who?
Brandon Ingram.
Who? Who's he talking about?
Brandon Ingram.
Oh, no. How can I put this? When you look at him, you see a game that has not been maximized. You don't question his talent, but what you do question is what is he doing to maximize his potential? Some days he just seems to drift. He doesn't seem to be there. And I can't invest max dollars in a dude that I can't rely upon and trust. I ain't trying to mess with his paper. I want him to get his paper. But I'm talking about what we've seen from him in New Orleans. He's one of those cats that need to be in a system that's run by Pat Riley, in a system that's run by Tom Thibodeau, in an environment where we're going to hold you accountable. We are going to be in your ass. We are going to be on your neck, riding you till the wheels come off, demanding max effort from you at all times, on and off the court. I don't see that from Brandon Ingram. I'm not questioning his game. I'm saying his game is gifted enough where we should see far more of an impact from him than we have seen.
I agree. I mean, we should see. You never know.
The one good thing is the storylines have been awesome. This NBA, the offseason storyline, summer league, and stuff like that. It's gonna be interesting to see how it transfolds this year for sure. There's a lot of the West is tough. Boston coming back to repeat what New York did, what Philly did. And there's some sleeper teams in there that have made some changes, small changes. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Hey, Killer.
Yes,
We're
sir.
going to switch gears real quick. I don't want to talk about basketball no more. Basketball. I want to talk about boxing because I'm a boxing fan. I know you're a boxing guy too.
Sure.
Tank, he the man?
I think
is he the man right now?
I think he is.
He the man right now?
I think he is.
He whipping ass and taking names.
I think he is from a box office standpoint. Because
so who's next?
he's like a blood and shark infested waters. When he smells blood, he takes it. Well, listen, Shakur Stevenson, but I think that Shakur Stevenson hasn't done well for himself. The last two fights were too boring.
Yeah, I heard his fights the last fight was boring.
He's a brilliant defensive tactician. Brilliant. But I just think that, not box office enough and not that knockout power and that knockout rate. He's got a less than 50% knockout rate. That's number one. I think if you Tank Davis, Lomachenko is one of the best pure boxers on the planet. Lomachenko's special. Do I think he's a little bit too small for Tank? Might be, especially with that power. But Lomachenko is such a brilliant tactician. You just never know. So we got to pay attention to that. I think that you look at, ultimately with Tank, me personally, I would love to see Tank move up to 140 and fight Teofimo Lopez. I would love to see that because I think Teofimo Lopez got the power to make you respect him and deal with him. And Tank got the kind of power that can take anybody out.
Man.
And so, and not only that, he smells blood.
Man.
And he comes for you. And what he did to Frank Martin, and listen, he told Frank Martin, he said, you might have, should have waited. This is before the fight. You might have, should have waited.
Yeah.
And then he said, you really, really should have waited.
Yeah.
Because you came too soon. And sure enough, Frank Martin came too soon. Because I watched Frank Martin. Brother got skills, undefeated, nothing to sneeze at, all right? 18-0, 12 KOs, that kind of thing. But here's the interesting part. It's interesting. If you saw from the first round on, you got tanks left to be worried about.
Yeah.
So you fight from the southpaw stance, and you kept that right hand up early, which was wise. But it's one thing to keep the hand up on the chin, keep it on the phone, as they say, like you on the phone. It's another thing entirely to be so deliberate with it.
Yeah.
When you're deliberate with it, you're showing you're not necessarily relaxed. You're showing that the moment is something you feel. And he was talking and coming up with these stories about how he shook and buckled Gervonta Davis in sparring. And Gervonta was like, ooh, it's such a lie. Where you get this from? It's such a lie. And he was pissing him off, and he was cussing. He was like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Ooh, you could tell. So I'm like, okay, let's see. When I saw the first round, the bell rang, and Gervonta walked right to him. And it was like, buckle me now. It was like that. Buckle me now. And I said, he coming for this kid. And sure enough, he took him out.
I thought Frank, and I ain't no boxer, just street fighter. I ain't no boxer.
Right.
But I thought Frank was on the ropes a little too much. He was playing around on the
fourth
ropes
round.
a little too much.
He wasn't playing. What happened is that he was using that energy for the first 4 rounds. And so midway through the fourth, he like, this is getting tiring. So let me lean on the ropes, try to buy myself some energy, try to buy myself some times, and I'm a good counterpuncher, and I think my defense is good enough not to get caught.
Shit.
That's what he was thinking. It was a huge mistake.
Man.
It was a huge mistake. And when Tank caught him with that uppercut, and then the uppercut with the left, and then, oh, my Lord. It was, yeah.
Yeah,
Caught
Killer, kind of how I hit you when we was in school.
him.
That uppercut and that left back in games.
Well,
Nah, but
man,
I watched that fight because I'm a big boxing fan too, so I watched that fight too. And
But
I
it's
said the
him.
same
It's
thing.
him. It's Terrence Crawford.
What the f is wrong with Ryan Garcia? What the f is he smoking?
I have no idea.
He's out.
Yo, he done lost his damn mind.
My bad, Killer. I didn't mean to cut.
He done
That
lost.
mother got to be crazy.
He done lost. You talking about blacks, talking about Jewish folks, saying he's a member of the KKK. Now listen, if he's trying to make a case that he's mentally disabled, he's doing a damn good job. Okay? There's no doubt about it. There's no excuse for it. I like Ryan Garcia. I can't defend what he did. There's no excuse for it. He ain't getting no sympathy this way. That was pretty fucked up what he said and what he did. And he should be made to hold accountable for it. And I'm glad he was suspended for a year by the New York State Athletic Commission for PED use. I'm glad that WBC said we don't want nothing to do with him. I'm glad about that. I'm sad for Devin Haney, but it was Devin Haney's fault.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. Yes, it appears that Ryan Garcia used performance enhancement. That's what they say. That's what they say. Not once, but twice.
Yes.
That's what the reports say. But here's where I blame Devin Haney. It should have never been okay for you or with you for him to come into the ring overweight.
Overweight. Yep.
Tank Davis, he wanted to fight Tank Davis. He pushed for the fight against Tank Davis. What happened? Tank Davis said, yo, it's a weight clause. Yo, it's a hydration clause. So you can't sit up there and then come into the the weigh-in, and then 24 hours later, you're going to be 20 pounds heavier.
Yeah.
Nah. You got this a weight clause, there's a hydration clause. This is what you can do. You want this fight, this is what it's going to be. Cool. Ryan Garcia had to capitulate to that. Otherwise, Tank would have said, nah, you ain't fighting. Devin Haney, you the champion. You 30-0, 15 KOs, undefeated, lightweight champion of the world, moved up to 140 pounds. This brother needs you. He lost to Tank Davis. Came back and won against somebody else afterwards, but he lost to Tank Davis, was trying to elevate his name back into boxing's mind's eye again. And you shake his hand during the press conference talking about $500,000 for every pound you overweight. He shake your hand and agrees. He comes in 3 pounds overweight. He hands you $1.5 million. And that's what you did. You took the money. And you got your ass beat.
Got your ass beat.
You see what I'm saying? Why? Now, Clarissa Shields and Sean Porter did an exceptional job calling, doing a pre-fight and post-fight coverage at the time. And they said, yo, those 3 pounds matter. I'm not a boxer, they are. They said the 3 pounds matter. You can't come in there 3 pounds overweight and that doesn't make a difference. That makes a huge difference. So if they knew it, Devin Haney knew it. What you take the fight for? You should have said, nah, you don't make this weight.
Yeah.
We ain't
saw
fighting.
that.
But because you took the fight and took the $1.5 million, now you got that blemish on your record. Yes, it was reversed into a no decision because of PED use. But the bottom line is we saw you get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so how do you recover from that? Because guess what? Now I don't believe you can take a punch from Tank Davis.
Nah.
I don't believe Devin Haney belongs in the ring. Don't go nowhere near Tank. Don't go nowhere near Tank. Because I can't believe you're going to be able to take a punch from Tank after what I saw happen against Ryan Garcia. I just can't. I can't.
Great point. Killer, before we get to the fan questions, I got one more thing.
What up, Bo?
They own you a little bit about the OJ thing.
Okay.
They own you a little bit about the OJ thing. I'm gonna let you speak on that because I got my opinion, but at the end of the day, everybody have their opinion.
Here's the deal. We've gotten to a sad place. The personal attacks and all that stuff. Let me be very, very clear.
Because Faison Love went said some crazy.
That's right. Faison, whatever, do your job, bro. Have a nice life. Here's the deal, man. I don't lose no sleep over these cats. I truly, truly don't. I clap back because I can, and I clap back when I'm in the mood to do so. 99% of the time, I'm not in the mood. But I got a podcast that I do 3 days a week. I got my show. I'm on television. People interview me.
What's the name of your podcast? I know everybody know it, but
Stephen
if you
A.
don't
Smith
know
show,
it.
Stephen A. Smith Show on YouTube and iHeartRadio, on iHeartMedia, Stephen A. Smith Show. So I'm sitting there like, what I was stunned by. So let me get this straight. The dude, in the eyes of millions of people, committed double murder. I know he was acquitted because he had a great lawyer in Johnny Cochran, because Marsha Clark and Christopher Darden stupidly asked him to cry on a bloody glove that was months old during an 8-month trial. And all right, fine. Lost the civil suit. Most of the world believe that. Why does it matter that we believe that he's a double murderer? It matters, UD. It matters, Eminem, because we watched the trial on television. Now, if we didn't watch the trial and he's acquitted, we don't want to hear nothing. He's acquitted. He's acquitted. But if we watched it for 8 months, okay, then we are entitled to draw our own conclusions. We saw it. We saw the blood. We heard about him hiding in the bushes while she was screwing around with somebody else. No disrespect to Nicole Brown Simpson or nothing like that. I'm just talking about the trial. You know what I'm saying? We saw all of this. We watched the trial. So my opinion is his ass is guilty of double murder. But you're entitled to disagree. What's undeniable is the brother said, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Yeah, I remember that. That was crazy.
I want no parts. I don't care about the black community. I ain't thinking about black folks. I'm living this way. I ain't trying to get involved in all of that. When he was at USC, when he was starring in the NFL with the Buffalo Bills, when we saw Jim Brown and Muhammad Ali and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Kurt Flood and all of these people, John Wooten and others standing behind Muhammad Ali when the government came after him. Didn't you notice that OJ wasn't there? He wanted no parts of it. He wanted no parts of standing up for our community, for his own. That's the brother you getting on me about? You Faison Love, you Willie D. That's why you coming at me? 'Cause of OJ? Really? I'm like, you gotta be me. So it took me a while to like stomach that. When in reality, my focus wasn't even on OJ. It was on the BET Awards. I respect BET, Black Entertainment Television, even though it ain't no longer owned by black people. Paramount Studios owns that. You know, we got brother and sister running the network, and the award ceremony is much CTV, and they doing great things, and I wish them nothing but the best. Steve Mills, Constance Orlando, and Connie Orlando, and all of them, major props to y'all, nothing but love and respect. All I was talking about was the decision to mention OJ in the in memoriam segment, which also included Willie Mays, Carl Weathers, Bill Cobbs, you know, Ron Cephas Jones, tremendous actors, Lou Gossett Jr. We gonna mention OJ in the same breath as those people. Would those people's families want OJ mentioned in the same breath as those? That's what I'm saying. You agree, fine. You disagree, you disagree. One cat comes out, what the f is wrong with you? You're supposed to be a comedian. You shrilling up your face, you know, looking like you're about to catch a stroke. And, you know, I mean, all of this other stuff, talking smack. What'd I do to you? Because I have an opinion about the BET Awards honoring him? That's why you coming at me? You say, I'm like, really? And then you this cat Willie D from Ghetto Boys. I like the Ghetto Boys.
Willie D. I love Ghetto Boys.
I like the Ghetto Boys,
know Willie
man.
D
You know,
said that.
I'm sitting there like, really? You're half here, and you know you talking about this. But listen, my woman's fine with me, bro. I don't roll like that. What you worried about my hairdo for? That's all right. That's fine. You know, but I'm like, you coming at me, and it's like, you know, Sambo, Steven from Django, you know, Uncle Tom, like, really? You know, I'm sitting there, and I could have got medieval. You know, I really could. I could have called these cats out, because you got to remember, you can think you're going to have the last word with me. Good luck with that if I really, really want to. But they never have to worry about me having to have the last word with them, because frankly, they don't matter that much to me. But the thing about it is that We come out with these names, and there are NBA players who facilitated this kind of thinking about me. I know who they are, UD. I know who they are. And you got some professional athletes because they haven't liked the things that I've said, and they facilitate those things about me. You see, you want to create this narrative to distract people from the real subject at hand. And I'm smart enough to know that. But I'm also decent enough to not want to turn it into a back and forth, a personal text. Because you see, I want Willie D to succeed.
Yeah.
And I want Faison Love to succeed.
Yeah.
And I want any of these cats. Hell, even some cats in and out of the league who used to be in the league, who no longer in the league, who's still in the league, that want to come at me. I want them all to succeed. I'm not a brother that roots for failures in my community. I'm not that guy. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm an ambassador for HBCU Week. I've assisted, whether it's CP3, whether it's ESPN, whether it's TNT, whether it's the NBA, whether it's the NFL with Troy Vincent and others. I've helped raise $87 million in scholarships.
Wow.
I reach back to help folks all the time. In our profession, point a black person or anybody that has come up to me and asked me for my assistance or my help or my guidance in any way that I can help, and ask them what they have to say about me and what I've done. I have a history of taking my hand and helping as many people as I can, because that was the mandate Clarence Big House Gaines and John McClendon handed down to me years ago. Don't forget, make sure you do what you can for HBCUs. Make sure you do what you can for Winston-Salem State. Make sure you do for young brothers and sisters on the come up. Ask the sports brothers out here in Miami what I did. They called me when they were on the graveyard shift at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I came on just because they were young brothers trying to get going. You come into this industry, Perk come into this industry, RC and everybody else. There is nobody, male or female, especially from our community, that can come and say that I didn't try to help them when they asked me to. And in most instances, when they don't. We on First Take. My brother is the boss. Ask him what I've done. Ask the president of Walt Disney or the CEO of Walt Disney, Bob Iger. Ask the president of ESPN and Jimmy Pitaro. Ask other people who've worked in this industry what I've done for us. Look at the diversity on First Take.
I see it.
Where do you think that come from?
I see it.
Everybody's been handpicked by me. And then on top of it all, you would come at me like this. And I'm going to tell you something, and I ain't say publicly, but I'm going to say this now. You think I haven't noticed that the steam has elevated since everybody knows my contract's coming up? You think I'm that stupid? You think I don't know what they're trying to do? What these cats are trying to do is trying to bait me. So I will do something stupid. So it will get in the way of my dollars. Now, it's as obvious as the sky is blue on a sunny day in Miami. But here's the real question. Why would you want to do that?
I was just going to say, why would you?
Why? It's like, think about this. Let's just talk, real talk right now. And I'm speaking from the heart. I have never worked less than 320 days a year in my career at ESPN.
Wow.
Or in this business. I show up. The least amount of time I worked was 300 days. And that was in 2017 when my mama died. Because she was battling cancer in those last few months, my time was spent with her.
Understood.
That was it. I've been number one for 12 years in the morning on First Take. In terms of ratings and revenue, I've been the number one talent for a decade. All of this money, I'm not talking, this ain't about ESPN. This is about the cats coming at me. ESPN and we gonna work out what we gonna work out. And we not gonna work out what we don't work out. But there's no animosity. I got great relationships with them. They got a great relationship with me. Whatever we work out, we work out. I'm talking about the cynics and the critics. As hard as I work, as much as I work, along with the results I provide, if I don't get paid Who's getting paid? I'm not talking about ESPN.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about Disney because, like I said, we already talking. ESPN's already been fair to me. We got no issues. We'll work out what we work out. That's not what this is about. Mm-hmm. This is about a mentality primarily emanating from our community.
Yes.
Where you got cats looking at me, knowing the work I put in, knowing how hard I work, knowing the results I provide, and still would be like, yo, F him. We don't want him. Well, if it ain't me, who? Because who else is working $325 a year? Who else is working weekends? Who else is on first take from a 7:30 morning meeting to a 10 o'clock on the airwaves to on the air for SportsCenter at midnight? Who else is doing that while generating revenue, while generating ratings? When you do a podcast, don't sponsors help pay the bills? You see how many sponsors First Take has? Think about it.
Nah.
When you have to generate revenue.
Yeah.
When you see producers and associate producers and writers and editors and hosts and contributors and co-hosts, if you're not generating revenue, how do they get paid?
Yeah.
So when I bring stuff up and we talking about selling out, who's really selling out? The brother that's hipping you to the game, that's telling you where the minefields lie, what obstacles and what minefields you have to guard against, or the brother that's telling you to be ignorant and be what you want to be and to bump the system and to hell with everybody else while they got their hand out behind closed doors for the very system they're denigrating. Who really selling out? See, they the ones that's selling out because they ain't telling you that you doing shit that's going to get in your way.
Yeah.
That's going to compromise your dollars.
Yeah.
When cats come and talk to me, I always let them know. Here's where the money is. This is what's going to get in the way of the money.
Yeah.
And in the process of that, you're going to damage yourself. I'm not telling you to be fake. I'm not telling you to be phony. I'm not telling you to do any of that. I'm telling you there's a time and a place for everything. You can't always be what you want to be, when you want to be, full throttle, and get everything you want. You have to maneuver through the minefield, being real, authentic, and true to you, but understanding that certain times call for certain actions. These ignorant will have you thinking that telling the folks that is selling out. All you doing is sending cats on a come up down a dead-end boulevard. That's going to cost us everything. One by one. I refuse to be that brother. And I've said it, and I'll end it this way. I've said it 1,000 times. I'll say it 1,000 more times. Google me. Look at my track record. Talk to people I've covered. And any critic, any cynic that got something to say substantive, not trolling, nonsense, belligerent, childish nonsense like supposed grown-ass men like Willie D and Faison Love was supposed to be. And I'm not saying they're not because I'm not disrespecting them. I'm only talking about their comment towards me. That was juvenile and immature, okay? I'm saying people that got something substantive to say, you want to come at me and question my credentials and my commitment to our community and what I have done to try to help us, name the time and place and I'll show up. I'll show up by myself any day of the week. And I'm telling you right now, I'll eat them alive. I'll eat them alive. They won't have a leg to stand on because you got to have facts to back that stuff up in a public forum. They don't have it. They got perception. They got emotion. I got facts.
I mean, the problem, and I'm gonna let you finish it off, Killer. But one thing I will say, and the thing with our community is, two things can be true. You can disagree with me, and I can still be a real one. Mm-hmm. Like you could disagree with me, and I can still be for our people. And that's the problem. I think the first time somebody disagree, oh, he'll sell out. He ain't real. That's crazy. Like I could disagree with you and still agree that you a real one. I could disagree with you and still agree that you ain't a sellout.
Right.
Both can be true.
Right.
You don't
but
have
they
to
don't want to do that.
Just because I disagree with you don't mean you're a
But they don't
sellout.
want to do that because that's not going to provide the impact that they want their words to have. Because you see, they're not doing it just to vent. They're doing it to garner a response. See, I don't have to, and that's where you're missing. That's where they're missing it when they come at me. You're doing it for a response. Because I said nothing. I'm not proud of this because I am a fan of the Ghetto Boys, but I really didn't know. I didn't know Willie D.
Yeah,
I didn't know who he was. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, who's that? I didn't know.
Willie
So
D.
I'm happy for him. Do your thing. Do your thing. Faison, I've been watching Faison for years. You know, again, you disagree with my OJ take. I got it. All of that. And then you gonna follow up and you on social media, that's what you're doing? You that hard up for attention? I don't have to be. I don't have to be. I'm not gonna do that to anybody. I'm gonna be myself and I'm gonna be the best human being that I could possibly be. I'm not perfect. I can be better, but I'm a hell of a lot better than most in terms of where my heart lies. And I don't try to intentionally hurt anybody. I have a job that calls for me to call stuff like I see it. On the playing field, inside the boxing ring, outside the octagon, on the football field, on the basketball court. That's my job. I don't go off the court and get into people, personal business and all of this stuff. But I see what cats are doing. And I'm literally looking at them like, first of all, they really think I'm going to fall for this and like let you bait me into doing something stupid that's going to compromise my dollars. Good luck with that. That ain't going to happen. But secondly, and most importantly, the thing that has me at home sometimes thinking about it is like, why would you not want me to be rewarded for all my hard work, knowing that the chances of me being rewarded for it would ultimately improve the chances for others on the come up to get the same.
Yes.
There's so many of us in the industry. Nate Burleson's doing a great job on CBS. Michael Trahan is doing a job on Good Morning America. Do you know what they're doing and what it means to them, what it means to athletes on the come up to show that we can transition from sports to general stuff like they doing for CBS and ABC respectively? It matters. And so when you have people that are precedent setters, that are pioneers, that set the stage, you root for them because all of us benefit. We got Pat McAfee at ESPN and everybody thinks, oh my goodness, he caught up with Pat McAfee. I'm rooting for the brother. It's not because of his money. It's because of his deal. He's an independent contractor. He owns his own business that he leases to a network. If he succeeds, the floodgates that it opens for all of us are limitless. Why would I root against that? I want him, I root for him every day to succeed. Not because of the money, because of the independence that breeds the money. How do you not see that? You look at Troy Aikman on Monday Night Football or Tom Brady with his deal for Fox. And you look at Tony Romo. Why would you not root for them if you're an athlete? That's like an athlete rooting against them. Why would you not root for J.J. Redick to succeed if you want to be somebody who can ultimately become a head coach without having to be an assistant coach and go through that terrain? Why would you root against that? Precedent setters and pioneers set the stage for the rest of us.
Yes.
But ignorant cats don't get that because they're too busy caught up in their emotions and they're not knowledgeable enough about business. I could despise your ass and still root for you if you're good for business because that means your good business is going to turn into good business for me. I can do that. Grown men and women can do that. Children have a problem. People who are mental midgets.
Yes.
You know who they are.
Yes. Well, I just want to appreciate you.
Thank
you, dog. The advice you gave me for Herro.
Else.
Yeah, the advice you gave me for Herro, I took that advice. We good. We had our conversation. And also the advice you gave me on this side. I can account for this. You are a real one. You shouted to me straight. We done had some brother to brother conversations, street talk, ain't that all that proper. We talk how we talk. You know what I'm saying? You shot it to me straight. You gave me the game, and I appreciate you, dog. I can only speak on what I know. All that other shit I can't really go on. You kept it 100 with me, dog.
Yo, people gonna say what they gonna say. Let them say. I ain't losing no sleep over it. Real knows real. And those who are cool with me and got love for me, I got love for them. Those who don't give a shit about me, please know I don't give a shit about you. Right. Eminem, nothing but love for you, bro. Always good seeing you, my brother. Man. I know you chilling out there.
Thank you. Got love for you,
and
dog.
You, man, you got real potential in this business, my brother. I really, really believe you are going to be a star. I'm not exaggerating. I think you are going to be a star in this business. I big up you every chance I get, to my bosses and to everybody else who would listen. Watch this brother right here. He is something special in front of this tube. Only advice I gave you was to slow down. Because I said, you got so much knowledge, but you speak so damn fast. You know what I'm saying? We missing it. Yeah. Slow down a little bit so we can hear you.
I got you.
But that's it. Man, I'm proud of you, and I'm going to be proud of you moving forward. Keep doing you. Keep doing your thing, man. All the best to you.
I appreciate everything, brother. Thank you.
Appreciate you, S.A. Appreciate you, brother.
No doubt.
Thanks for coming on. Oh, geez, we're out of here, brother.
Hey.
Yep.
One thing, we got the OG advice right here real quick. We just gonna make this quick, man.
Okay.
If you ain't heard it here from Stephen A. first and foremost, man, you can't worry about what other people think. Can't worry about what other people say. Focus on being your best version. Take care of the people that take care of you, and live your life, man. We only got one life to live, bro. So that's the OG advice today. I mean, it might be kind of cookie cutter, man, but it just speaks to the conversation that we had today. It's a lot of things going around. A lot of people going to want you to not be your best version. A lot of people going to have opinions on who you are and what you are. You can't worry about that. You can't focus on that, man. You only got one life to live. OG advice, be yourself, and if they don't like it, you know what they can do.
OG's out. I love it.
Yo.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, man.
All right, killer.
Yep.